In this video, we'll take a look at some rational and inspirational questions. It's good to get started with some more rational questions to warm up your brain. Because remember, talking about what we know is easy, but when it comes to talking about our emotions, that's, well, difficult. So let's start with some rational questions. What can your customers do with your product? Think about all the features your product has to offer. If we take the iPad for example, if we have 4 GB of storage, that's a feature, but you have 1,000 songs in your pocket, that's a benefit. Next question, what makes your product or service different than its competitors? This question is really crucial when it comes to understanding what the value proposition or the unique selling proposition of our product really is. Ideally, it should be something that our brand is better at than its competitors, but also that the customer really wants. Another important question we can ask is, why did you start this business? Finding out why a company started and what the founder's original mission was, what kind of problem did they want to solve, can really inspire you to create a story around this brand. As we have seen throughout the last years, this brand purpose or this brand essence has become a really important part of branding. Another important question related to this founding story is, what's the company's history? It's not only important to know why this company started, but what was the contextual background for this company? What were the challenges they faced? What were some of the struggles? Maybe they even had some crises. You could lean into that, or even just knowing that it happened is important to continue creating this story around the brand. Another question, what's your company culture like? What are the work ethics? How are people talking to each other? What does the team really value? If you get the opportunity to talk to the actual team, then do that yourself, that's even better. What are some of the typical jokes? Who are the key figures in this company and why do people look up to them? All these questions are interesting to get to know this company culture. Asking the right questions is tricky, but it really cuts through barriers. Let's take a look at some of the more inspirational questions. These will give you a feel for the personality of the brand. The first question we can ask is, where are you now? That's the mission. And where do you want to be in the future? That's the vision. The mission statement describes what a company is going to do and why they're going to do it. It's action-oriented. So the mission statement is really about taking action, while the vision statement is oftentimes about dreaming about the future. For example, Ted's mission statement is spread ideas. Their vision statement is, we believe passionately in the power of ideas to change attitudes, lives, and ultimately the world. Another question you can ask is, imagine if you're not in the room, what would people really say about you? Think about your reputation. What do you want people to say about you? How do they gossip about you? Answering this question will help you in identifying some weak points and create some more honesty about how the brand is perceived. Another great question is, if your brand were a person or character, who would it be? Oftentimes, visualizing the brand as a person can really help you in getting some personality traits. It's an easier way to define the brand personality or voice. Another question we can ask is, describe the ideal space for your brand. If you could create the perfect reception, what would it look like? How would the people be dressed? How would the interior look like? This will really help in bringing the brand come to life in a physical way. It's like a mood board without images, where there's still room for a lot of imagination. Of course, there's a lot more questions you can ask. Try to uncover as much as possible. So here's a couple of tips you can use when asking questions. First, ask why. Then ask why again. Leave room for silence. Ask open questions. Those are questions where the answer isn't yes or no. I hope you are now ready to start asking these questions and solving them together with your client.